Welcome back to my channel. I'm the Butler. This is the Butler Report. I have a special guest with me tonight, David Godby. I can't introduce him as much as he can, so I'm taking it over to you, David.
Good evening, folks, fellow patriots, fellow humans, all around the world. I hope you're really going to hear me, because I have something very important to share with you, and I'm going to take it from an angle that no one else is taking it from. And if you approve, please support us in supporting you in your search for truth, because I want you to know the truth. I had to find out the truth for myself the hard way, working through NASA headquarters, and you guys deserve to know. I felt this way for a very long time, and I've spent the last 20 years fighting so you can know the truth against insane odds. You know, I am the very quintessential term of the term conspiracy theorist, except everything I tell you can be easily confirmed right now. I want to start where the headlines are, and in a direction no one is going. Right now, Gislane Maxwell, well, let me tell you about myself first. I'm a former NASA headquarters contractor working for Allied Technology Group Incorporated and Global Science Technology Group Incorporated. We were located at 300 East Street Southwest, right next to NASA headquarters, with their publications department. And in fact, my company, Allied Technology Group and GST Inc., we were actually located on site more than 40 hours a week, which was illegal according to official contractor law in the U.S. government. Having on-site contractors that often makes us security liabilities. But because the projects we were working on and the program grants we were working on were dual U.S. and another country, it all had to be kept on site. So yeah, this was NASA headquarters, downtown D.C. I had gotten a job there as a contractor after a year of work-study program through Northwestern High School, where I graduated. Most of my high school graduates were lost in the Iraq War. This is one of the things that galvanized me, along with the 9/11 incident, when I saw our government use reverse ionization weapons on our own people and turn steel beams into dust, which, by the way, can only be done with very specific laser technologies. So I want to go at this with my professional experience, because at NASA headquarters, we had a semi-regular guest named Gislane Maxwell. The first time I met her was when she was meeting with the Space Camp program manager as an advisor to Space Camp, you know, grooming astronauts at a teenage age. And she was treated like a princess. I had never seen anyone given the princess treatment like Gislane Maxwell at NASA headquarters main education division. Or, you know, you could call it indoctrination division if you know anything about NASA's history. So she was basically treated like royalty. She was able to touch all the program managers very flirtatiously, like she was at a nightclub, except, you know, it's 2 in the afternoon. And she's kind of a bitch, in my opinion, very, very princessy, very entitled. But some people liked her, some people didn't, some people actually reviled her, and she was definitely the result of at least one program manager's divorce about 3 months later. But that all gossip aside, at the time, Gislane Maxwell was the head of a program called Terramar, Terramar. This is easy to confirm. Just look it up, Gislane Maxwell, Terramar. She received hundreds of millions of dollars in contracts to basically try to steal the world's oceans in a giant Ponzi scheme. And this has been exposed. The one person I've seen cover it is Candace Owens. She covered it briefly and hasn't mentioned it since, but, you know, props to her for covering it. So people should wonder, why is there no investigation into this hundreds of millions of dollars that was received by Gislane Maxwell, and whether any of it went to groom, traffic, or cater to, you know, pedophiles around the planet and in our own government. But this investigation hasn't happened, it's not ongoing, and it's never going to happen, because the government will never admit such a Ponzi scheme exists. And those projects I was telling you about, you'll never guess which government was teaming up with the U.S. on that one. You'll never guess. So this leads into Epstein, who I believe was working for Maxwell, as her father was the one who chose Epstein, not the other way around. He was groomed by Bill Barr at Yale, as everyone knows. This is common knowledge. And he is a transhumanist, a member of the World Economic Forum, just like his, you know, madam partner, Gislane Maxwell, still is. Thus her pending pardon. He worked with a congresswoman named Stacey Plaskett in the Virgin Islands, who's not being questioned at all, despite being a Democrat, despite being 100% Epstein funded. And if you look, the experiments they did on children in the Virgin Islands were actually Neuralink experiments, and they messed up some of those kids up real bad. Once again, millions and millions of taxpayer dollars used to groom kids who were technically American citizens in the Virgin Islands, and British citizens in the Virgin Islands.
Are we talking about Elon Musk?
We will get to Elon Musk.
Okay.
If you want to. So what I really want to lead into is where Epstein really connects to Trump. Because Epstein is once quoted as saying, I want to sow nanotech all over the planet with my DNA in it. So every woman gets infected with my DNA and has my kids. You know, kind of like a modern Attila the Hun. There's something, you know, akin to that. And then he funded a program through Harvard called the Harvard Global Sundimming Project, which was headed up by David Keith, the former head of HARP at that time.
I know who David Keith is.
And that was launched January 9th, 2019, under Trump, as an expansion of a previous program known as Trump's Wall in the Sky. If you look this up, it is a geoengineering program to use sulfuric acid in the high atmosphere to refract sunlight. You can also confirm this on the Colbert Report, where he interviews David Keith, and David Keith admits to killing at least 1 million people around the world in open violation of sovereignty.
I've seen that myself.
Using these sulfuric acid programs, which are, by the way, taxpayer funded, thanks to Trump, since 2017. This is funded by Gates money, Epstein money. I believe if you look close enough, you'll find Maxwell and her connections in there as well. But this is an ongoing project. It's now called solar radiation modification, and your government is still funding it to the tune of at least $60 billion a year. I don't know how Doge missed that, but a program that is killing millions of people a year on American taxpayer money not only is a violation of all of our sovereignties, but it is a violation of all sovereignty around the world, all inalienable rights, all peace agreements. It is a complete violation of consent and everything that is natural. It is an aberration of do no harm. And I find it absolutely reprehensible that we run such a program. Like I said, you can find David Keith on his own page, davidkeith.com, on the Colbert Report, talking about he's killing 1 million people as of 2017, and they intend to ramp it up by 10% per year. But in 2019, he ramped the program up by 345% in terms of particulate density, chemical use, radioactive materials, and nanotech. That launched January 9th, 2019 as the Harvard Global Sundimming Project. By January of 2020, we had a full-blown epidemic of vitamin D deficiencies, COVID narrative, and mRNA vaccines that are doing no good. So take that for what it's worth, but if you can connect the dots like I can, then it's time to start thinking for yourself. Gislane Maxwell is a defense contractor. Jeffrey Epstein is a defense contractor. They're both transhumanists, which means they don't believe in suicide, and they will sacrifice as many lives as necessary in their quest for eternal life for themselves and their clients. And that's what's really being covered up right now.
What a fascinating, dotted together piece of material. I would call it a piece of work. It's awesome.
Well, that was off the top, but let me just give people some references, just so you know these people hate you. And I want to throw some shout outs to people that inspire me and the webcast that I follow, because these people, I would not be me without them. I would not know what I know without them. But the Transhumanist Political Party can be confirmed to be created in America in 2014. Its president since 2014, Zoltan Isvan, has ran for U.S. president twice in 2015 and 2019. In 2015, he did an article, I forget for who, but he's quoted as saying, Trump will be good for science. You can guess which kind. In 2019, he gave a lofty speech for Biden, where the nomination was stolen from Bernie Sanders. And you can watch the speech for yourself. It's over an hour and a half long, about how they needed to go the Biden direction. This man has influenced our elections. He's a Transhumanist Party member, which means he's also a member of the World Economic Forum, and a foreign asset. This is important. We have foreign assets from the World Economic Forum actively running for the presidency in 2015, 2019, and recently in 2023 as well. You can confirm it on their own page. Their values page is about upgrading you. In other words, they think you're inferior. You need to take this to heart because they hate you as you are. If you believe that you are built in the image of God, or you have natural sovereign rights, or any of these things, that you are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness on the most basic right, then it is time you stand up for yourself, for the kids that don't have voices anymore, and for the kids yet to come. It's up to us. There's no help coming.
Thank you, America, for listening. This has been a fascinating subject. I want to thank David.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate you giving me a platform.
Absolutely. Anytime. We'll be doing many more of these.
Yeah, there's a lot we can talk about. The people need to awaken. If we can help them do it, then we can really make the difference. Because there's too many voices screaming out in the dark that remain unheard.
Absolutely.
And we do it for them.
My point exactly. Thank you, America. Thanks for listening.